The problem that is being solved by the Smart Factory Web is a mediation problem, a mediation between those who need something to be produced, who need a product, who have a demand for a product, and those who have the capabilities to produce a product. And in order to do that, you need something who mediates, and this is Smart Factory Web.
I will now present you the prototype of the Smart Factory Web. The overall goal is to produce a car. For that car, we need a car seat, and it is assembled in a factory in Belgium. We have other factories as well. For example, this German factory, which can also assemble seats. On the right side, you see the Smart Factory Web supply chain management, which has a detailed view of the whole supply chain. And on the left side, you can see this supply chain, this exact supply chain, visualized with the companies involved all around the world.
I got the idea of the Smart Factory Web when being in Korea, in South Korea. We had a project together with our cooperation partner KT, a research organization such as Fraunhofer, but in South Korea. And we both had research factories, and the idea was how to bring together these factories based on internet technologies. So there we invented the idea of using internet and web technologies by means of a platform in order to connect these two research factories. After some years, we had two IT players that got some interest in that, and we have got Microsoft and SAP on board, and until today, they are member of this Smart Factory Web testbed at IOSB. The speciality that we are offering is that we do not just look up to the first tier supplier, but beyond the first tier supplier, we include the whole supply chain in this consideration and in this mediation activity. And these supply chains are also attributed by other criteria such as sustainability criteria and resilience criteria.
I will now simulate a failure of this assembly factory. As you can see, the assembly factory, or the failure of the assembly factory, is visualized here in the supply chain management overview, and also on the map. We would now like to find an alternative for this failed supply chain. For that, we click on the supply chain search and upload an engineering file containing the design of the seat we would like to purchase. We also have to add the number of seats we expect and the expected date of delivery. In the next step, we need to split the engineering file into the part information so that we get the information about the seat track and the seat shell separately. With that information, we can ask an external service which derives capabilities necessary to manufacture these products. Now, knowing these capabilities, we can search for the supply chain alternatives, and you see in every row one supply chain alternative. Each supply chain also has some meta information like the product carbon footprint or the CDP rank. Now we would like to request the production within the second supply chain. For that, we click on this request button, and we see we have a request for the first factory in the supply chain, which will produce a seat track. We now assume that when we request this factory, it already starts to process, and we do this for the rest of the factories as well. So for the seat shell producing factory in France, and also for the assembly factory in Germany.
So the advantages of the Smart Factory Web also depend on which role you have. As a customer, okay, you do not have to look into the internet and search for the best fitting factory. Typically, you don't get that information out of just a web search. So you have much more detailed and focused information given by the Smart Factory Web. If you are a supplier, due to the open architecture, the open approach of Smart Factory Web, you don't have a vendor lock-in. So you cannot just work with this platform. You can also have another contact with another platform, depending, assuming that we have the same type of interfaces. So as it is an open architecture, everybody can participate in this platform, and this leads to an open ecosystem.